years, Mauricio has been with men and women stepping out on the marriage. Has Mauricio been with men? Has he been with women? I don't know. I actually don't even care, to be honest with you. So the fact that this marriage, which was so perfect, which has led people to give up on hope on marriage, is falling apart does not shock me. The Morgan Wade of it all shocks me. Number 9, Morgan Wade. I mean, Kyle is 56. This girl is 28. Whether they're sleeping friends, it just, Morgan and Kyle are friends. They're together. I just think, what is going on with, this is not the Kyle Richards that we have known for 12 seasons on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So the marriage falling apart, the marriage stuff, that doesn't shock me. The Morgan Wade of it all, it's my number 9. Where did she come from? Now she's on tour with Joan Jett and Alanis Morissette as like the opening act. This has been a great thing for her. Yeah.
Oh
really.
my God. The greatest thing that could ever happen to Morgan Wade.
Greatest thing. She's my number 9. Who's your number 8?
My number 8 is sort of all the shocking allegations around John Fuda from Real Housewives of New Jersey. I mean, that the man wants, things in his butt. His ex-wife has come out, what a criminal he is, what a cokehead he allegedly was. The kind of the almost like physical fight he got in with Louis that, was there some sort of scamming or business associate that had gone wrong with Louis? I mean, as our girl Sutton says, with this smoke, this fire, I mean, there's a lot of smoke around him. In that franchise. And, I just love, I loved when Lisa Rinna went on Sirius XM and basically said, Harry Hamlin loves a dildo in the ass. I mean, these moments are great. I love a good sex scandal. I do. I'm a sucker for it. I love to know what's going on in people's bedrooms. I really wish there was a career where I could review people's sex tapes. Now, I'm probably more on the scale of Sutton than I am Brandy, and I'm fine with that. Like, I am a bad lay, mostly because I have ADD. I get very bored. I mean, you just have to have such a big dick that does so many things to entertain me, and I just, and there's just, men can do little things that turn you off very quickly. So I say all this to say, I love juicy sex details, and the John Fuda of it is just so good.
See, I think I'm the opposite. Like, I just want to work. Now, I also just want to sleep. So, like, I feel like my mind, like, I love to work. So when I'm not working, like, when I sleep, my mind does turn off. I'm actually one of those people who's very kind to myself at the end of the day. I let myself go to sleep. I don't need substances. But then, like, when you're fooling around, that also takes my mind off it. So I like to fool around quite often, because it's like sometimes you're not even in a mood, but you're like, this actually takes my mind off work when all of this is happening. I mean, if the person's hot, of course. So then you're like, no, I like this. I can do this for hours. I don't have ADD because, like, I know when I stop this, probably gonna have to fucking go back to work.
Hours. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, maybe not hours, but you know what I mean. My number 8, considering you love a good sex scandal, it's close to yours. I guess I'm not shocked because it's Brandy, but yeah, I am shocked that we have a whole franchise in limbo. We may not see season 4. Brandy stuck her hand on Caroline's pants, apparently. I am shocked about this. I am also shocked about this. So this too is on my list. Would have been higher if it was any housewife other than Brandy, but it still shocks me. It's number 8. Are we ever really going to know what happened? Brandy says it didn't. She says she's sick of, and she's doing a lot of posts where she's saying, like, I'm having a hard time of it. Like, you're holding me hostage. I can't tell my side of the story. Number 8 is this whole thing between Brandy and Caroline. Who's your number 7?
My number 7 is Melissa and Teresa. Again, you've been in the Bravo world for a long time. You have a lot of inside sources there. But to me, this came as such a shock that they are so dysfunctional behind the scenes and really have put on this front for years, I think, incredibly well for the cameras, that they really have nothing to do with each other. Melissa and Joe have no relationship really with their nieces. I mean, it touches on a lot of points for me. One, I find it sad as just a family affair. Like, it's so sad that they couldn't do this. Their parents aren't here. Teresa's been through so much. I find it's the end of an era in a little bit of a way, even though we were really being fooled, especially the past couple of years. They really had no interest or contact with each other. I just found it so shocking. And I thought that reunion was so, like, the anger that is so there. And look, I'm going to go a little dark. I'm going to go a little dark here. I mean, Teresa alleges, or I can't remember if it was Teresa or Joe, but they do allude to the fact that there is something dark, I believe, in more Joe Gorga's past, that they will not go there. And
we all know what that rumor
right.
is.
Well, the rumor basically is that he sexually assaulted a woman years ago, right? Like,
correct.
That again, it's alleged. I've never seen any proof, so I'm not going to sit here and say that that's true. I don't know anything about it, but that is like out there,
Yeah.
And it's just sad. It's sad to see them so angry at this place. And okay, I'll shut up with this. I do think it's hard to know which side. Sometimes I'm team Melissa, sometimes I'm team Teresa. It's hard to be a chameleon in a fight, and they really have. So
listen, honey, I love it. I'm a chameleon too. They call me a flip-flopper on Patreon. It's like I call it being a human being and not being like bowing at the altar for someone. Some weeks Teresa makes it hard to be on her side. Some weeks Melissa makes it hard. Every week it changes. I love analyzing it week by week. So I feel your pain. My number 7 is, I am shocked that I am sitting here every week and watching the joy and gift that is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 4. I am shocked that Salt Lake this season is so good. One of the worst seasons in Housewives history was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 3. I can't believe Shed Media, Bravo. I cannot believe we went from trash, one of the worst experiences. I couldn't even watch it. I hated it so much, to like, Salt Lake is the best franchise, I think, this entire year. I love it. I cannot believe we went from horrible to phenomenal. Salt Lake City, season 4, how good it is. That's my number 7 shocker of the year.
David, you've trained me well, because great minds think alike. Because you know what's funny? My number 6 is actually it's Real Housewives of New York. That Real Housewives of New York has actually been a hit. I mean, it is so hard to do first of all, to get a hit show out there. I mean, it's so hard to get a hit reality show these days, right? But then to reboot a legacy franchise, and actually, I know you're not wild about it, but I mean, I got to tell you, I loved it. I really enjoyed the entire season. The women were open. Number 6 for me of the most shocking is that Real Housewives of New York is actually a hit, and I'm interested in the women.
And what was your number 7 right before this?
Melissa and Teresa.
I was shocked. Sorry. I just was like, no, I mean, okay, to your point, and I don't not like it. I'm just, I get what you're saying about your number 6. It's very similar to my argument for Salt Lake. My number 6 is, again, I am not at all, this is like Morgan Wade. I am not at all shocked that somebody who is in her 30s and another man who is in his 40s, and the man in his 40s is in a rock band and wears nail polish, and they're not married,